A lot of farmers are trying to build their entire farm business alone. No help, no connections, no outside resources, just them, their animals, and their stubbornness. And that can cost you a lot in time, in money, and in years off of the timeline of getting your farm going. And that's what we're talking about in Module 3, Don't Go It Alone, the resources that most farmers never use. Farming alone is hard. Farming alone with no relationships to your community, no relationships with your neighbors, and just in general, no awareness of what's available to you is almost impossible. There are people, programs, and resources that exist for farms specifically like yours. And a lot of farmers, for whatever reason, never touch them. Now, when I say farm alone, I'm not talking about necessarily family. We addressed that in Module 1, talking about making sure that everyone's on board. This is more talking about your community and resources that are available to you. And the first one I'll talk about is neighbors. Neighbors are one of your most underrated business assets. And I don't mean to make them sound like a business. Obviously, you're friends with your neighbors, but neighbors can be a huge help if you're starting a farm. They can be a huge hindrance if you piss them off. So it's something that you really need to pay attention to when you're buying a farm. If you already have a farm and you have neighbors, creating a good relationship with your neighbors means that they may be able to help you with land. If you need a little bit of land, they may have extra that you can borrow. They may have equipment that you can borrow. They will have resources. You may have just moved to the area and your neighbor has been here for a long time, and they can tell you where to go to get repairs, to find the good hay, to find the equipment for seeding. They can recommend the farmers you might want to go to that are doing the exact same thing that you're doing. So neighbors are just one of those things that a lot of people don't think about, but can be a huge asset to your farm. So definitely put some time into looking into your neighbors, keeping your neighbors happy. And that goes both ways. That means you helping your neighbor and you providing resources to them too. But working together, neighbors can really help you out on your farm. When you're starting your farm and you're looking for things like equipment, you're looking for more land to use, you're going to find way better deals. You're going to find more things that are going to work for you from neighbors and people you know than you are looking at ads on Facebook, Craigslist. So again, put time into that relationship. It's good for you, it's good for them, and can definitely be a boost for your farm. And then there's community. You want to make friends with your neighbors, but community is another big aspect of starting your farm. This is where you're going to find the person that can help you fix your tractor when it's broke. This is where you're going to find the person that's the go-to person for the good hay. Just like your neighbors, getting embedded in the community and knowing people in the community, again, will help you find the resources that you need to run your farm. Going it alone is hard, and I don't know if that's possible, honestly. You know, where we're at now, I've made so many uses of my neighbors, my resources, and just people helping me along the way. You know, there's a lot of credit I need to give for that, and I can't recommend to new farmers enough to make use of those resources that are out there. A lot of these people have farmed for a long time. They can impart that knowledge on you. They, again, know the people, they know equipment, and it's one of those things that farming's hard because there's so many different facets of it, and when you can find people to help you with some of the things you may not think about when you're starting your farm, it's just a huge boon to your farm. So neighbors, community, definitely make sure you put time into creating those relationships and forming those connections with people. Government programs. Always hesitate talking about this one because especially these days people have such strong political views. I'm not going to go into my politics here. I keep things very objective. Government programs exist because you pay taxes to create those programs. That, in conjunction with historically, farmers have a lot of support from the government. You have already paid into this, you've paid taxes, make use of it. I've done a video on this about if taxes are grants or taxes are grants if they're a help to your farm or a trap. And I got a lot of mixed things. And, you know, the way I try to approach it is that I don't look at it as a handout because I paid into it. Therefore, you know, it's like Social Security. I paid in that. I expect a return on that. I paid into my 401k. I expect a return on that. Again, my tax dollars go to pay for this stuff, and I try to get a return on that. A lot of farmers, a lot of people, you know, for political reasons, for stubborn reasons, for just reasons that are against their self-interest, look at these as a handout. And if you weren't paying taxes, I would totally agree with you. But you do pay taxes. Therefore, it's not a handout. It is you getting a return on the money that I would say you gave, but you didn't even give. It was taken from you if it's a W-2 job before you ever saw it in your paycheck. It's a resource that a lot of farmers don't use, and I feel like people shoot themselves in the foot if they don't do it for political ideologies or whatever. So something to consider. Just try to look at it through a lens of where you're at, what you want, what's going to help you get there. And this grants and cost shares are a way to really help your farm get there. Now, some of them I agree may be a little intrusive. Government comes in and inspect things. There's a lot of hoops you have to jump through. But you're going to find that with anything. If you get a loan through the bank, you're going to have to provide them so many documents and signatures and IDs. And, it's one of those things that, again, you got to look at it objectively. What do you want? And if you are having trouble getting that, or your money is allocated to certain things and there's help out there, use it. You paid for it. Use it. So there's a lot of programs out there. There's USDA cost share programs. There's EQIP programs. A lot of counties and states have soil and water conservation programs. I would highly recommend to look into those. They can help you with things like fencing, water systems, trees. And then there's your local extension offices. These are typically extensions of colleges. They can help you with if you're having problems with a weed in your pasture, if you're trying to figure out, what to seed in your pasture. These are professionals and they're good at what they do. They have a lot of resources available to them that can help you. So make use of those resources. I'm not trying to say let government in and onto your property and this and that. What I am saying is that I want farms to be successful, and money obviously is a reason that a lot of farms aren't successful, because you're either not making enough or you don't have enough to cover the cost of the things that you need to make money. So this is a way to help you do that. Look at every program closely, see what the requirements are, and judge for yourself. But just know that there's a lot of resources out there, and they can really be a big help especially if you're on a farm that has no fencing, has no water systems, and you need those things to get started. They can really be a big help with that. Grants are another thing I don't think I mentioned. Again, we talked about cost share and such, but grants also exist as well. And then there's also microloans. You get these microloans. I think they're up to $50,000. They're a good amount. And, if you need a loan to do something, they're super low interest, which is huge. If any of you have ever, if you've had a mortgage, if you credit card, anything, that interest can kill you. And these are almost zero interest. They're small. So another thing to look into is grants. Are there any available grants? Again, a lot of times these come from companies in different places. Again, some of them are from the government, but look into those. Those are things that can help you on your farm so that you can then maybe allocate some of the money you have to other things, like getting a few more head of cattle or making a bigger garden, getting a greenhouse. There's a lot of things that they can help you with that. So too many to go into in this one video, but I want you to be aware that they exist. And I would check with your USDA office. Most counties have one. Your local extension office. Again, most counties have one of those as well. Between those two, you should have one of them in your county, and they can point you in the right direction for a lot of this stuff. Just let them know what you're trying to do and see if they can help you. Another thing I've been looking into a lot is a co-op model. This is something that a lot of farmers don't think about going in. You buy land, you get started, and you're just thinking of what you and your family can do. But a co-op model can really help your farm. One, because you're getting in with other farmers who obviously have resources, they have experience, and they may be experience in things that you don't have, say marketing. Have you had a website and had to sell stuff and get your product out in front of people? A lot of these other farms may have done that. So getting in on a co-op helps you to get your product in front of a lot of other eyes. It also allows you to not have to do so much. Again, this whole video is about don't go it alone. And if you can produce amazing beef and say the farm down the street's producing amazing pork, you guys could work together. That way you're both offering beef and pork and it's a win-win. You're both getting yourselves in front of other people's eyes. It's a big thing with YouTube. What I'm doing here and actually musicians, you'll see them do it a lot, is they do collabs where they work with other people. And the reason being is they are sharing audiences so that they're getting essentially double exposure. You know, this is something, honestly, I've never tried myself. But the more I see farmers talking about it, the more I hear about it, I really think that, you know, especially if you're looking to really make a go at it as a farmer, making a lot of money, that may be something you want to consider, because again, it just, somebody's angry over there. It's a way to get resources and help from people that may be good at things that you're not, and again, you can share things that you know, and just working together and getting help, that's a big part of being successful. So a co-op model, definitely something worth looking into. You can do some YouTube videos on it, check with some other farmers who may be doing it. It's something that I'm seeing more and more of, and a viable way to really make a go at farming. And I will acknowledge that all of these things may not apply to you. You know, you may be in an area where you don't really have neighbors. Maybe they're seasonal. You may be in an area where there is no extension office, or even another country, if you're watching this, that you may not have things like the USDA and stuff at you know, resources that you can use. So, but take what you can from this. Like I say, it's, you know, most places support their farmers, and most places have things that will help farmers get started. So just wherever you're at, look into it, talk to other farmers, and that's a good way, again, of making friends, getting in the community, and finding resources that are local to you. So here at Longbottom Farm, we made use of a lot of resources. One, we did get a cost share for fencing and water. That helped us a ton. Now, we had to get a loan to pay for that up front, but then we got reimbursed on about 75% of that. And that helped provide us with an ag well. So we had a separate well from our house because we don't have a lot of water, and that could go dry. We got the fencing put in, and that helped us really, again, get started with cattle. So that was one thing that we used through our soil and water conservation. We, with our neighbors, had a hay arrangement. They have about 17 acres right here on the river. It's perfect land, and we get our hay from that. All they wanted is cut. So I cut that, and then some upper parts I cut as well that we don't hay, but it takes me about an hour to do that. Otherwise, I cut, they let me have all the hay. So it's just a win-win, no money exchanged, just they get their land cut, I get hay. So that's another way of talking with neighbors has helped us on this farm. It's saved us a lot of money over the years. With Homegrown Hosting, my website company, I'm actually applying for a grant for that, just to help with marketing. If you just look around online for grants, you'll find it. This is through Verizon. They're giving it. It has nothing to do with the government. So these are big corporations that give grants to entrepreneurs, essentially. So there's a lot of resources, and we've used a lot here at the farm, and I can honestly say that we wouldn't be where we're at, and I would be either way behind or way in debt if I hadn't made use of some of those resources. So definitely something to consider if you're starting a farm, if you already have a farm, if you've had a farm for 10 years, look into resources that could help you. Again, it puts more money back in your pocket. You're paying taxes, get some of that money back. Something I'll also add to this, you don't figure all this out in year one. Again, this has been over a course of 10 years here on our farm. You know, there were some things we actually started that we realized we could have got some help with. And then I'll also tell you too, be careful with grants. There are some that seem like, yeah, it's a great idea, and then you realize, nope, that was not a great idea. We did that with some trees. We got some trees planted, and then not so much it was a bad idea, but they were planted in totally the wrong area against my fence lines, which meant I couldn't mow my fence lines, and so we had to take the trees out, but we ended up having to pay a little bit back on that. So again, look at the fine print, look at things, but make sure that it's something that works for you, and that it's going to work for what you're doing, what your plans are, whatever animals or vegetables or whatever you're doing. And then also, before you think you need these things, go ahead and start looking around, because you may find that you have plans for something on the farm, and then you may find a grant or a cost share or a microloan or something that's perfect for it. So you've got the mindset part from Module 1, you've got your financial foundation from Module 2, and now you know you don't have to build this alone. And that's 3 modules, and we haven't talked about a single animal yet, but we will. I want to stress how important this foundation is. You know, it's like a house. If you don't build your farm on a strong, or you build your house on a strong foundation, if it's not on a strong foundation, it's not going to last. And I think these are some of the most important things you need to know before starting a farm. They're not glamorous, they're not fun, but they're things that are either overlooked or a lot of farms just don't know about. And that can have consequences, huge consequences, financially, time-wise. So don't push these aside. Make sure you're putting the time and giving these the attention that they need. I'll be adding one more foundational video. It was going to be 3, but I wanted to add one more. And I want to do this before we get into the numbers and strategy and marketing for your farm. It's not glamorous, but it's something that can really save your house, your land. Let's just say we're getting into the legal stuff of owning a farm and the liability side that you need to protect against. And we'll have that next week. As always, if you're already selling and you have systems that are holding you back, fill out the 5-minute questionnaire at homegrownhosting.com, and I'll get back to you within 24 hours for a custom plan that helps to get your farm online and a system for selling products while you're farming or sleeping. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you next week.